Hello and welcome to the Rhythm Factory. I'm Eddie C, and together with my co-host Peter D, we're going to bring you in touch with people in and around the music business. This is the podcast that takes you up close and personal. Hi, and good afternoon once again. Welcome to TRFP, the Rhythm Factory podcast. My name is Eddie C, and to my right, of course, my co-host, Mr. Peter D. Today's guest is a very good friend of mine, and we've worked together over the years in several different bands and recording situations. A very talented pianist, keyboard player, also a composer, Mr. Mark Milan. Mark, it's always good, talking with you about the music. I mean, we've done a whole lot of things as duo, as different bands. You played in my band when we did my presentation for one of my CDs, and I see you have a new CD out now, which is called the group is called what is it called? The group
For Sure.
For Sure, and Freedom of Speech is the name of the CD.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll show it to the people.
The nice thing about it is that this is, a lot of people know you, of course, as Mark, the handyman with the fantastic left hand, and then doing the keyboard things as far as the Latin music and everything. But this is a more of a jazz orientated CD, which is showing a whole different part that a lot of people don't know about, and that's great that they hear that I know about it because I've seen you, and work with you doing that. Mm-hmm. But maybe you can tell a little bit more about this particular CD and how it came about, and that fantastic left hand.
Well, what do you want to hear first, about the CD?
Well,
I'll tell you about the CD.
Okay.
So this CD, we had an offer from a producer in Switzerland to record a CD in Italy.
All right.
And so we went there to record. We had we had 1 week to record. So we stayed in a hotel, and we were daily in the morning. We started at 10 o'clock until 12. We were busy recording, and it also made the band very tight. Also, because you're so you don't have any daily things you have to think about. Okay, now I got to go to the store and think about food or whatever, or kids or that kind of stuff. So we were only focused on the music for 7 days, and that made the product also so great and nice.
Oh, fantastic! And you recorded in Italy itself, huh? In a studio in Italy.
In
Italy, wow!
Yeah.
So you were flying back and forth, or traveling?
Yeah, we were flying back and forth a couple of times. We went back for the mixing.
Okay.
And mastering.
Also master the mix there.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So check out the CD. This is it here.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom of Speech.
Yes.
And okay, well, once again, let's go back to that left hand. I mean, I've done gigs with this guy as a duo, and we've done parties and where we were with more people, and at one point he's playing a little intricate funky beat or salsa type thing, and then you close your eyes and you hear this bass, this tremendous bass sound, and I'm going, okay, is there someone in the room playing bass? But it's actually Mark doing all of that. It's fantastic. It's still, every time working together, I'm always going, oh yeah, well, I love working with bass players, and he does too, but it's a certain feel that he has with that keyboard, and he does that very well. And it's so. Tell us a little bit. How did you come about that?
Well, I started out playing organ as a kid, so and I was playing the bass with the foot pedals. Okay. And but after that, I had some an intermission for a couple of years, doing more sports and basketball, But through sports again, I got interested into music, but I didn't pick up anymore the organ, but I started to play piano.
Okay. Yeah.
But that bass feeling probably was still in there,
Right.
Yeah, what's the nice thing is, as an organ player, or if you as a keyboard playing, also playing bass, that you can harmonically you can go where you want to, because of course with a bass player, if you have a good, let's say, good connection with that bass player, you intuitively you can follow each other. Right. But it will never get like just one person doing the bass and the chords at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that makes it that's what I find nice to do, but not all bass players like that.
No,
I'm taking that job, but
it can sometimes be intimidating to a bass player. but
there's a couple of keyboard players that are very great at it. The keyboard player from the band called Soul Live from New York. I don't know if you know them.
I've heard the name of the group.
Soul Live, like that guy. He's incredible playing.
I mean, what was your inspiration? Developing that style basically is where the. I mean, I know you're into Herbie Hancock. You've had long talks about that. About the whole thing, but he is a fantastic, let's say, keyboard technician. I always call him,
Yeah.
But I know other than Herbie Hancock, a few of your other favorites that you.
Yeah, of course, from that era, Herbie and Chick Corea, those are my favorites. Jimmy Smith, I like, of course. And after that, Joey DeFrancesco, great, and. What's this guy's name? I was also an organ player playing with Michael Brecker. I forgot his name, but he's.
Is it Brian Oliver? Was that Brian Oliver?
Yeah, no, Brian Oliver.
Can't come on a name right now, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah. And other pianists. I don't have like a pianist in particular.
That's it.
But
okay.
there's so many pianists.
There's so many pianists. Yeah.
Is there because you're a keyboard player? Most people know you for your keyboard playing in the Caribbean and funk style. But like we discussed right here, you also have a very big passion for the piano. I believe you even studied two conservatory
in Hilversum and Rotterdam.
Yeah, and so Rotterdam was really jazz.
No, Hilversum was jazz, and Rotterdam was more Latin American orientated, like more Cuban and Brazilian.
Okay, and that's basically your core business, what you're doing, or I mean, now you play, and your new CD, you play more piano. But what's the difference for approach and the way you?
Yeah, the difference of approach what they have in common is of course like the improvising and the soloing, but the rhythms are different. The jazz rhythm is totally different than what they do in Brazil or Cuban, and what I like is like the mixture of all these different trades. And makes it for me more interesting.
Right, and Eddie talked to you about your famous left hand. Is that something that contributes to your piano playing, like maybe playing stride piano or something? Or?
No, I'm not a stride piano player.
Okay, and so you don't use it that way?
No, I don't use it that way. No, but when I play in a band and where we improvise a lot, I'm very focused on the drum and bass and what rhythms the drums play, and I always try to fit into the groove. And if a drummer and a bass player don't match, I'm more like, I'll lay out. Let them sort out their differences first. Then I come in.
Right.
Yeah, there's got to be a foundation, of course. Right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's good. Besides your music, I know as long as I've known you now, and we can go back some years. I mean, you were always when I first met, I thought, well, let's have some meat. I'm a vegetarian, and I mean, you're a very healthy eating guy, and of course, it's very important in our business to eat healthy because, let's say back in the day, you went on the road, you traveled and you had, band bus, and so a lot of times you ate what was given to you, and that must have been difficult at times being a vegetarian.
Yeah, no.
And,
on tour it was a lot of times it was a drag.
Yeah.
Then they arrange something vegetarian before you go to the venue to play. They take care of a meal. And then they come with, one time in Switzerland, they came with like a big bowl of salad. I said, hey guys, I'm a vegetarian, but I'm not a rabbit. So would like it that you get me something decent also. It's,
Yeah,
the
it's
salad
just-
is just like a starter. Or something,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
something on the side.
it's difficult. I
Yeah.
remember when I was on tour with Candy and we had tour bus. I mean, if it wasn't a McDonald's, then it was this. And I'm lactose intolerant, so I mean, we had same experience going to Switzerland, and they decided to have a cheese fondue. Now, they might as well stuck a fork in my heart because I mean, I ate a little bit of it, which was a little bit too much to start with, and then halfway doing the road, man. At one point, we had to stop. They had to stop the bus, and if you headed to the eastern part of Europe, you know, because we were headed towards Skopje in that direction. You know, you have these outer houses, and that was like walking into a nightmare. I mean, literally, physically, it was like you walked in and it was like you're expecting Jaws to come out and get you. It was so filthy. And luckily, I always had tissues with me because of my sinus troubles. But I know that feeling of trying to go on the road and getting healthy food. I mean, a lot of times, you know, I end up taking like a little sandwich for me, and I'm not as difficult about it or difficult as sharp about it as you are. But I know you're now busy even all the way down to the water that you drink now, that you're busy with. That's a new thing that I've known for you since for a few years. Can you tell a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, actually, my mom, she's biologist, and the healthy living and it actually comes from her.
From her, yeah.
Yeah, she knows a lot about it.
Yeah. Your mom, she's very, very much into all of the healthy stuff. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But like one day she came up with this device it's a water treatment system.
Right.
That makes antioxidant water.
Okay.
You know, and that I didn't know anything about it, so I tried the water for a couple of months. I was, let's say, 3 times a week. I went to her house with some jerry cans, take some water with me. And what I noticed is, like, after I've played a gig, mostly musicians don't get up before 12.
Right.
You know, when you come home at 3, 4 at night, you wake up between 12 and 1.
Right.
But I woke up around 10 o'clock. I was like,
Awake.
I was awake. I said, no, let me try to get some more sleep because I didn't sleep enough. So I tried to sleep, but after 50 minutes, I said, I can try what I want, but I cannot sleep anymore. No. I got energy, so I also had to get used to that, you know. But so it energized me a lot, you know, and made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, right. Because I know your partner was. She had been sick for a while, and she had a complete turnaround.
Actually burnout also and stuff.
Yeah, and had a complete turnaround by trying this the water and everything.
So it's called Kangen water. It's from Japan.
Okay.
It's they use it already like in more than 250 hospitals in Japan.
Oh wow!
And since let's say 15 years, it's on the consumer market.
Okay.
Because the people that went to the hospitals, after they've been treated in the hospitals, they wanted to keep drinking the water.
Right. Well, you know, put your link. Give your link to Charles, who's one of our cameramen, and he does our Facebook page for us as well. Give him the link, and we'll put it on there. And you know, you never know. I mean, it's good to get more healthy people out there today.
Right. Because you don't only drink it; you're also an entrepreneur for the water, or.
Yes, I'm also entrepreneur for the water. Actually, since 2 years. But actually, we were only users. But because we experienced so much positive things from it, then we got so enthusiastic. Like more people should know about this.
Yeah, but you were even. I remember you even telling me last year that the American football team.
The Seattle Seahawks. They all use the
water, and they were Super Bowl champions last year. Right. And the way they're going, they look like they want to repeat this year as well. Okay. They still got to get past that. They got to still get past.
Also, the New York Yankees. Maria Sharapova.
Yeah. Okay. And so a lot of athletes. Musicians as well. I know that you were telling me.
Santana also.
Okay. Wow.
Beyonce also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
around the world.
Yeah. So I got the hint.
Listen, Mark. I was wondering. You traveled a lot, and maybe still you travel a lot. You played in Europe. You played outside of Europe. Are there major differences in public or circumstances that you play in Europe or outside of Europe? And what are the differences?
What are the differences? Now, what I noticed is one thing, like when you're an artist from abroad, they always treat you more like a superstar. Yeah, like when you play in Holland, oh, it's a musician. Oh. But if you're not like in a part of the music elite in Holland, then you're just treated just as a musician. But especially already, like when you go to Germany, you have a totally different treatment.
I've experienced it myself too.
Like music has a different status in Germany and also a lot of other countries.
Yeah,
and I think in Holland, I think maybe because like it's a small country, and let's say for such a small country, there's also many musicians and also a lot of good musicians here in Holland. So actually, I think the public gets a little bit spoiled also because of that.
Yeah.
And outside of Europe, is there any difference? Say in the East or something?
Yeah, well, but what I experienced, like say in Africa, like whoa, the people are so nice and friendly, and besides giving concerts there, we also gave workshops and clinics, and the people are so eager to learn. They're like little sponges, you know, like
fantastic. But the Caribbean, you play a lot because you're originally from the Caribbean, you know. So I mean that's like coming home for you each time, or not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And because you're touring there almost every year.
Yeah, like sometimes every year, like, or I skip a year, but
combine it with vacations.
Of course. Gotta take some extra sun, you know, especially in these times.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, well, you know, since you played so much venues in countries, there must have been a funny or awkward situation you have been in. It's a question we ask all of our guests, but do you have a funny anecdote?
Well, I don't know if it's funny, but I went with a band to Bulgaria, play at the jazz festival in Sofia, and I think the first couple of minutes when we arrived in Sofia, like the one of the singers got mugged by a little kid.
Oh man.
Yeah, but one of the guys was so sharp, because what happened, like we were standing in front of the venue, but it was still not open. Somebody had to come to open the doors. So we were standing outside waiting, and there were some couple of ladies, like I saw them talking to each other, like okay, and then they came at us and they started to ask something like directions, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a little kid walking past our group, and then he got the wallet from one of the singers, and he walked away, and then the other keyboard player he grabbed the boy, and he dropped the wallet and he ran away. But that little boy was part of the scheme, like with the two ladies, because at that point the ladies were gone also.
Oh wow! All right.
So that was our first encounter with Bulgaria, but for the rest it was perfect. It was nice.
Oh, okay.
Nice people.
Okay, all right, man. Well, listen, we really enjoyed talking with you and interviewing you. It's great to see you after such quite a time, man.
Yeah.
We have to get together and play again, man. So, but listen, what if you want to know any information about Mark? Please go to our website. That's the Rhythm Factory Podcast on Facebook. While you're there, don't forget to push the like if you haven't done it already. You can also go to YouTube to download our podcast and follow the podcast and subscribe. Please subscribe, because then you'll automatically get all of the podcasts as they come out. Once again, the information about the CD and all, you can also find the link to how you can get in contact with this very talented guy and his music and what he's busy with. And of course, when we hopefully get our festival together around summer, he'll be part of it as well, along with some of the other musicians you've seen. We're going to close off by saying thank you once again to Mark. Thanks to Peter, our cameraman Frank, Charles, and the rest of the staff. Ramona on the camera, taking pictures, and Gijs, our production manager. We would like to leave you with these words for this week is look at water, look at music, keep it pure. Take care and see you next time on TRFP, the Rhythm Factory Podcast. Thanks. This was Eddie C. See you later. Bye.